Hello and welcome to the review of Resident Evil 4 Remake. I am your reviewer, Lord Fenton. In this review of Resident Evil 4 Remake, I'm going to go ahead and ask the burning question. Is Resident Evil 4 Remake worth playing? As always, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more reviews like this. Do not forget hitting the notification bell so you'll be updated and more. In this video, we're going to go over everything from gameplay, graphics, difficulty, the storage, and much more. So let's get on with the review. Let's talk about the story. So you're Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil 2. You're going to try to rescue the president's daughter. You think, okay, it's a simple rescue from these cultists who's about to sacrifice this unfortunate person. Well, guess what? Things are not what they seem. Things are not easy. Story's very good. It's very fun to go through. They did a little bit of changes in Remake, all for the better. Just trust me. So let's get to the next part of the review. I will say this, I absolutely love the controls in this game. Very easy, very simple to use. Now, even with the aiming, people use aim assist. I didn't, even without aim assist. Aiming is easy. There's even button combinations, like for example, you need to parry, or say parry. Then, of course, you hit the L1 button on the PlayStation 5. And it's also a nice indicator when a foe is about to strike too, most likely in lower difficulties. But still, the controls are very nice, very fluid, and very smooth. The Resident Evil series is well known for kickstarting the survival horror genre. And they did a good job of it. They add some nice elements too. So for instance, if there's some villager with a dynamite, you can shoot the dynamite in their hands and they go boom. There's other good factors too. You can even be stealthy, and if you do it right, you can get some stealth kills, which is good too. They even have durability on knives and armor. Yeah, if you use the knife too many times, you probably cannot use it anymore. Same thing with the armor too. So the gameplay is very solid, very good, and yeah, you can do some headshots if you're good at it. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the foes. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the enemies of Resident Evil 4 Remake. You start off against simple villagers who's been infected by the parasite, and then you eventually face off against animals, even, of course, some bioweapons. You should be trembling. I'm going to say they did a great job of the foes in the game. Now, you could try to shoot some of the foes in the head. What happens is their head blows up. Another bioweapon comes out, which is nice and cool. The boss fights are very good. I really enjoy a certain boss fight. Yeah, I'll just say it's somewhere in the second section of the game. Still, the foes in the game are nice, and it does keep you on your toes from time to time, which is a very good thing. I'm going to go ahead and tie these two topics into one. First of all, the merchant requests, aka the quests in Resident Evil 4 Remake, they're really good and well worth doing. You could trade for special gems from the merchant requests rewards, in order to get certain items that you only get, like for example maps and other things too. You could buy certain weapons, you could buy certain stuff, you could of course tune up your gear, sell anything you don't want to sell, and yes, you can even sell key items that you no longer use at all. I'm going to say is Resident Evil 4 Remake did a great job. The merchant requests, and as for the merchant system, I absolutely love it. So let's get to the next topic in the review. Let's go over the weapons and items. Oh, they did a great job of that in this remake. They still kept, for instance, the Resident Evil staples like the herbs you mix up and the first aid kits that heals you. Also, the herbs in certain combinations can actually give you more health permanently. As for the weapons itself, the throwing weapons are very good, especially the grenades. The weapons, there's so many good categories, so many different types you can experiment with. You can add certain attachments to it. Yeah, there's a nice attachment for the rifle, but overall the weapons and items are great in this game. Now it's time to go ahead and talk about the collectibles. For the most part, the collectibles are actually very good in this game. Many are simple to get, others you have to do some backtracking and legwork, but still it's well worth it. You could get treasures that'll help you, of course, get some currency in the game. You get some nice weapons, even those attachments too. Yeah, that sniper rifle attachment later on in the game is great. Also, you get to shoot those annoying clockworks too to ease the stress. So the collectibles in this game is good and not too annoying. So, you're all asking this very important question. Is Resident Evil 4 Remake have replayability? Oh, yes it does. Some rewards actually requires you to play the game a few times in order to get them. Like for instance, in order to get this nice outfit, you gotta play the game for the first time. And if you get a certain task done, you get yourself a nice weapon too. And of course, most of your stuff does carry over, which is a good thing. So yeah, you could play it over and over again, try new things, try higher difficulties or lower difficulties to get what you need. Let's do just chat about the difficulty in Resident Evil 4 Remake. Oh, the difficulty is very good. You start out with the basic three. That's assisted, standard, and hardcore. And if you do beat the game for the first time in any difficulty, you get professional. So if you want the highest difficulty, you have to play it the first time to learn the system. And then if you want to make a nice challenge for yourself, then play the professional mode difficulty. Yeah, the enemies will not hold your hand at all at times, especially on assisted. If you're not careful, they will kick your butt. So yeah, the difficulty in Resident Evil 4 Remake, the developers did a wonderful job of. The music and sound in Resident Evil 4 Remake is great. I like to apologize ahead of time for the music due to the fact there's some copyright stuff. We'll touch on that later on, but the sound is very good. You get to hear your gunshot. You get to hear, like for example, you shoot an object down here, the connection that, smashing things up. Even ladders you get to hear falling down. So yeah, the sound and music on the upside is really good. So, what's my thoughts about the graphics? They are really good. With the two modes, the resolution and of course the FPS mode, which I am playing on, they both look great. Imagine this on the PC with a high power PC card. Oh, that'll look wonderful. The attention to detail is great. The lighting is very nice. The atmosphere makes it like it's a good survival horror game. So, yeah, the graphics overall I feel is great and it's a nice step up. Time to go over photo mode. Yes, there is photo mode on day one. Yeah, I'm looking at you, God of War Ragnarok. You didn't have it on day one, but Resident Evil 4 Remake did, and it's very good. Now, if you're like in the world, you get to move around the camera at different angles. Now, for cutscenes, it'll just freeze, but still, it's a really good mode. You can mess with the effects. You put the logos on it. After you're done with a perfect picture, you get to take a picture of it, send it up on the internet so you and your friends can see, or you can just brag and say, yeah, I'm playing Resident Evil 4 Remake. So yeah, photo mode, they knocked it out of the ballpark. In Resident Evil 4 Remake, as I said before, you play Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil 2. He's back, including a good few surprises and new characters also. They're all good too, including that annoying certain one in the second castle. Some of those characters you meet in the world to help out, others you get to beat the living heck out of them. Yeah, that's right. A certain person you get to beat the living heck out of them, and it's well worth it. So the characters make up for the story well, and I like that quite a bit. So you're all asking this very important question. Did the remake do justice for Resident Evil 4? Oh, yes it did, and more. They improved some parts of the story, the very good parts. They, of course, modernized the controls, which is very nice, while they still kept the same loving feeling you did enjoy in the Resident Evil 4. So, yes, the remake, they did a wonderful job with that. Alrighty, everyone, let's talk about the bonus shop in Resident Evil 4 Remake. Okay, they did a great job of it. They carry over the same system like they did in, of course, the second and third remake of Resident Evil games. And the great thing about it is the skins are very nice. Some of them you have to get when you beat the game in certain difficulties. Same thing with weapons too. You do a certain task in your playthrough or beat the game, you get a certain weapon too to have. As for the arts and models, they're nice too, like this clockwork fool. I like shooting up like crazy. So yeah, the bonus shop is wonderful. I absolutely do enjoy in Resident Evil 4 Remake. I am so glad the UI in this game is simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Well, they did it in Resident Evil 4 Remake. There's a map there. They don't have the marking on it, but that's alright. You could look at map legends. Map is very easy to read. Even your merchant requests are up there. Key items are there too, also with the treasure in the same area. Your item system, that's there also. You can also craft too. Crafting is simple, easy, and good. Also, the last tab what I'm going to say is I like it though because it tells you requests, information about the game, and of course comms too. The UI is clean for the most part, nothing cluttered, and that's a big bonus to me. The world of Resident Evil 4 Remake is wrought with danger. I should say survival horror danger. There's three major areas. They get each better and better to explore and have fun in. You can interact with certain objects, which is great and wonderful. You could just rush through the game, but I mean, come on, explore the world. It's fun to really do that. So the world of Resident Evil 4 Remake is really nice. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the trophy slash achievement system in Resident Evil 4 Remake. For the most part, they're alright. There's some good ones to get. There's ones you got to beat the game many, many times. Some on difficulty, some with certain conditions. It can get really tedious. So it's alright. It's not the best, but still, it's something we have at least. There is a certain person that is not playable at all in Resident Evil 4 Remake. I kind of wish they put that person in Remake because that person would make 1,000% sense to play as. I am serious. I mean, come on. That person is really cool. At time, I like that person more than Leon Kennedy. But still, that's one of my disappointments in Resident Evil 4 Remake is that missing person as a playable character. Unless it's a DLC, but we're not talking about the DLC. I'm talking about the base game. So everyone, what is wrong with this picture? Well, we can store certain weapons, I should say weapon attachments and first aid. Rest of the stuff we cannot store. I mean, come on. In Resident Evil 2 and 3, you can store almost about anything. Maybe not key items, but still almost anything. This is a huge step down for me. I mean, come on. I want to store some of these grenades, all this ammunition because I'm playing a knife and handgun mode only. I'm disappointed I cannot do that. So yeah, they really dropped the ball on the storage system in Resident Evil 4 Remake. Now with the downside of the music and sound. This game is not streamer friendly at all. I mean, come on, man. Seriously. There should be a streamer friendly option. It is not. I have to turn the music down because you guessed it. I could get DMCA, copyright strike, you name the thing. Capcom does that quite a bit with more of their modern games. So yeah, it should be a streamer friendly option. This is not 2005. This is 2023. Here's my final issue. There's no chapter select. If you miss something, you have to revert to save. If you can't do that, restart the game over again. If you miss something or you miss doing a certain trophy slash achievement, I'm disappointed. I kind of wish they would have a chapter select or at least a section select. So this way you could start at one section that begins the chapter, then start another section that chapter is in. This game does not have it. I'm heavily disappointed in that. What is the final verdict of Resident Evil 4 Remake? Buy it at day one with the score of 10 out of 10. Despite some of the issues, for instance, lack of chapter select, and you know who is not in the game, this game has so many wonderful things. It's great with combat, enemies you face, collectibles, exploring around the world, surviving the world, and other good factors. If this is your first time playing a Resident Evil game, this is a good choice to play it. If you want to play Remake because you play Resident Evil 4, the original, it is a wonderful choice too. If you just want to play any other Resident Evil game because you are coming back to it, well, guess what? It's a great game to do so. Capcom and the developers of Resident Evil 4 Remake knocked it out of the ballpark. I call it a grand slam. This is it for my review of Resident Evil 4 Remake. This is Lord Fenton signing off. Have a great day or night and do survive. Please subscribe to my channel for more guides and content just like this. If you like what you see, then pick my suggestion on the upper left hand corner or YouTube's suggestion on the bottom left hand corner. Have a great day or night. I hope you all do survive.